Today, we will learn 5 fight adjustments that will help you to outsmart your opponents in a fight. Making in-fight adjustments is something really hard to do. Most fighters get lost in the fight and they forget to snap out of the little cycles that the fight creates. I am sure you have seen this happen before. You fight a taller boxer that keeps tagging you. Even if you press forward, they manage to check hook you or smother you. You try to get closer as hard as you can, but you can't land something clean. Before you realize it, the fight is over. And because you didn't adjust your tactics, the fight was lost by doing the same exchanges over and over again. Because I know how many people are struggling with doing in-fight adjustments, I have decided to break down the fight of Usyk versus Fury. I will break down the fight in 5 sections to make it easier to digest. And I summarize their tactics in 5 general adjustments they made. By the end of this video, you will have a couple of tactics that you would like to practice and apply. I am sure that at least one tactic is going to connect with some of the stuff that you need right now in sparring. Let's get started by analyzing Fury's and Usyk's general tactics before the fight. This way, we will understand better their adjustments through the fight. Okay, so let's start with Fury. Remember the scenario I just talked about? Well, that pretty much summarizes Fury's ideal fight. He wants you to chase him while he is outboxing you with his jab. He also punches you as you step in and counters when you are overextended or off balance. Fury's main tactic is to frustrate you into chasing him. The more you chase and the more you attack him, the better he will do. Now, Usyk tactics are quite the opposite. He likes to use pressure and being on your face the whole fight, and he makes you miss while doing this. He likes to attack by punching as you open up or blitz you when you shield up or slow down. Having someone constantly on your face that you struggle to hit back has a rough psychological effect that mentally drains you, and Usyk takes advantage of this in later rounds. In summary, Fury wants to box backwards, getting chased, and wants to unpode you with his jab. Usyk, on the other hand, wants to be on your face, keep that pressure high, and slowly break you down. Now that we have a general idea of what both fighters are looking for, let's start with the rounds 1 and 2. In these rounds, Usyk starts the fight with his usual high pace, countering Fury as quickly as he can. He's using the lead hand battle of the open stance matchup to control Fury's lead. As he feints and creates openings, he steps in and attacks. This is the first tactic of today, punching their openings. Starting this quickly definitely threw off Fury, since he will get attacked almost every time he stretches his arm. An extended arm is not good for punching. So, as soon as Fury's arm leaves his body, Usyk will go around it and punch. For fighting purposes, even the lead hand battle is giving out an opening with the promise of keeping your space so you can see the punch coming and move away. In this example, Fury is already against the ropes, so he can't move back. So, by reaching with his arm, is just leaving himself open for Usyk to work. In this example, Usyk is touching high, guiding Fury to touch high as well, and as soon as the open is there, he goes low to the body. At this point, what can Fury do to counter this? He needs to use his lead hand to control the space between him and Usyk. But because Usyk is so quick, as he's stretching out that arm to control the space, Usyk is able to cover that distance anyways. By the time that the first round finishes and the second round starts, Fury adjusted by getting more space and tried to avoid the lead hand game. This way, his lead hand was readily available to punch. Fury closed all his openings and stuck to his feints and mobility to implement the second adjustment of today, punch as they step in range. Since his lead hand is now kept to himself, it becomes easier to punch Usyk as he steps in. Fury is creating space to see Usyk coming in, and he is feinting at him to keep the space between them. Notice how, every time Usyk gets closer, Fury keeps moving away without breaking eye contact. He is still ready to punch, and he keeps a distance where he can still react to punch. Now that he's in a better distance, Fury is beating Usyk to the punch by punching him as he steps in. He turns and starts feinting, staying one step ahead of Usyk. Now, I have to give a huge disclaimer regarding this adjustment. Fury can get away with this adjustment because 1. He understands his distance, and he knows how to keep it. This allows him to see Usyk coming and do adjustments. And 2nd, he has the will and the sharpness to punch Usyk as soon as he cuts the distance. And this eagerness to punch makes Usyk think twice before stepping in, because there's a danger to it. There's a risk of walking into a shot. As long as Fury keeps moving and he's ready to punch Usyk, he has something to slow down Usyk. If you're trying this adjustment, but you freeze up too easily, or you are gun shy and you don't let your hands go, your opponent is just going to fill up that gap. You must balance both the distance to see them coming and the punishment as soon as they step in order for this adjustment to work. Now, with this in mind, let's move on into the 3rd round. At this point, Fury is beating Usyk to the punch, and he is boxing backwards as he usually do. As long as he keeps moving and stays sharp with his punches, he will be able to keep Usyk away. The problem here was that Usyk was so eager to attack Fury that he started to play into Fury's strength. Remember? Fury likes to be chased, so Usyk's constant attack and pressure start to make him predictable. So all Fury had to do was to keep moving backwards and punch him as he was coming in. So what can Usyk do in order to break this cycle? Since Usyk was getting countered because of his high punching output, what he had to do was to slow down and switch gears. And this is the 3rd tactic of today. If you're constantly getting countered, mix up the tempo. Usyk mixed up the tempo by keeping his feints but switching up when he would attack. Even if an opening was there, he will keep up Fury on his toes. He will also keep his space to minimize the punches that Fury could land. And then, after Fury will relax or try to reset, Usyk will commit with heavy shots. The constant pressure will make Fury waste punches and energy, trying to keep Usyk off. Since Fury does not know when Usyk will step in, he was forced to stay alert. But eventually, he will need to relax. Here is when Usyk will attack, doubling up his left. Notice in this sequence how Usyk will lean to the side, and as soon as he has the space, he will double down with his left cross. Fury will try to escape, and Usyk will continue hunting him down. He feints again, gets his head off the center, and continues to double up his left. With this adjustment, Usyk took over the 3rd round. But now, what can Fury do to take over the fight again? Let's move on to the middle rounds, the 4th to the 7th, to find out. With Usyk's constant change of tempos, he is throwing off Fury's timing. It's really hard to counter someone who is not predictable. Fury adjusted by increasing the pace of the fight. He started to be more consistent with his feints. He became much more eager to punch. And in these rounds is where we start to see his right uppercut being thrown more often. Now, Fury will be the aggressor, and Usyk will have to play catch-up. This is the 4th adjustment of today. If waiting for the counter is not working, you have to bring the fight to them. Fury starts with a feint to the head and switch to the body. Then he pushes the guard to reset. As soon as Usyk sets his feet, he starts to feint and move backwards. Beats Usyk to the punch and resets again. Usyk sets his feet. Fury right now throws a few jabs and follows with a cross. He moves away again. Before Usyk tries something, Fury is already working with more feints and punches. And moves away again. Every time Usyk is about to do something, Fury just beats him to it and moves before he can do much. Now, Fury is initiating an attack and moves away as soon as Usyk tries to counter. He continues using his jab for setups and resets. Usyk tries to counter but falls short, and Fury punches back. Now he throws more jabs and escapes. Fury is not waiting on Usyk anymore. He is bringing the fight to him. Fury is moving away, so Usyk has to follow. And Fury is also constantly feinting and attacking, forcing Usyk to worry about defense. In these two scenarios, Usyk is being forced to play catch-up. And this is how you accelerate the pace of a fight. It is not about throwing more volume. It's about staying one step ahead of your opponent, dictating when the exchanges will start and when they will finish, always keeping your opponent on their toes. We have Fury initiating an attack. He moves away as he jabs, keeps feinting, making Usyk react. He initiates another attack. Usyk tries to counter, and Fury counters back, making sure he is the last one punching. Usyk moves away, and when he comes back, Fury beats him to the punch with another shot. Now, instead of waiting, he surprises Usyk by attacking right away. Fury is controlling the fight by being unpredictable. Between his feints and the way he's switching between back foot and front foot is forcing Usyk to constantly react and play catch-up. But all this will change when we move to rounds 8 and 9. At this point, Fury was being successful at doing his perfect fight. So what adjustments can Usyk do to break this cycle? Well, at this point in the fight, there's one thing that has changed. Fury is starting to slow down. All the extra energy he spent keeping Usyk off being unpredictable and the damage he has taken up to this point in the fight started to get to him. By the end of round 7, Usyk started to punch with Fury. By punching right after he finished punching, he made sure to catch him off guard. And, due to his exhaustion, he started to struggle to keep Usyk off. And this will be the 5th and final adjustment of today. Punch before they reset. In this case, Usyk will punch with Fury or right after Fury finished punching. If Usyk cannot win the fight being the first one attacking, then he will start to dominate the fight by being the second. Right here we see Usyk working the body from afar, staying safe. He's expecting Fury to commit to something big. You can see Fury's punches losing their sharpness. Notice the lack of feints as well. Since there is nothing to stop Usyk from cutting the distance, he just goes for it and lands a big left. Notice how Fury backs up without feinting or hitting back. He has been worn out. In this other sequence, we have Fury hitting Usyk and resetting. Notice that he is not feinting anymore. Instead, he tries to surprise him with a single right hand coming from a bit too far. And Usyk sees it coming. And now, Usyk gets to counter Fury right after the big shot. Fury backs up again without feints or countering, so Usyk keeps working. Now we have Fury on the ropes. He feints and throws his left upper. Now it's time for Usyk to attack before he fully resets. If you find these sequences familiar, it's because all of them have the elements that Usyk used to score the knockdown in round 9. Usyk keeping the pressure, waiting for Fury to open up. We have Fury attacking, and finally, Usyk counters, sitting on his shots. Now, I have to make one note about this adjustment. The reason why Usyk is getting away with this adjustment is because, first, he's quicker than Fury, and second, Fury is slowing down. This combination of factors allows Usyk to cut the distance and hit Fury before he finishes resetting. If you're a slower fighter, this tactic will be hard to pull off, because if you are waiting for them to finish punching, by the time you're going to throw your attack, they will already have too much distance on you. This tactic works better with people who are slowing down or getting tired, or people who just simply relax after punching. This way, after you finish defending, you're going to be able to counter, because they're going to still be there for you. Okay, now let's move on to the later rounds of the fight. Rounds 10 to 12. These 3 rounds are pretty much the same as the previous ones. But now we start to see some tactics and adjustments being layered on top of each other. What made this round special is that we see a combination of the tactics 3 and 5. Usyk is keeping the pressure, slowing down the fight. And as soon as he sees an opening, he commits with heavy shots, especially if it is right after Fury committed to an attack. Here is another example. We have Usyk keeping the pressure, cutting off the ring. And again, As soon as Fury opens up too much, Usyk commits to a long combo to get as many points as he can. But now, let's talk about why Usyk is not pushing Fury harder. After all, he has his biggest opponent hurt, and he has the stamina to just increase the pace of the fight. But I think Usyk was really smart by keeping the intensity low and keep playing with those changes of intensity. You see, remember when I mentioned that Fury is at his best when you're getting pressured? Well, that's still the case, even if he's hurt. The only thing that Fury can do to turn around the fight is to keep outboxing Usyk as he's stepping in. After all, this is the strongest part of Fury's game, and Usyk already fought for that game before. Usyk made sure to stay unpredictable by slowing down the fight and using his pressure, feints, and changing the tempo on his attacks. This way, he will ensure that every time he attacked, he will get as many points as possible without getting countered. By doing all this, Usyk made sure that he will finish the fight getting as many points as he could and took away any possibility that Fury had to catch up on the fight. And here we are. 5 adjustments that will help you to outsmart your opponents. Punch their openings. Punch as they step in range. Mix up the tempo. Bring the fight to them, and punch before they reset. If you try any of these adjustments in sparring, let me know in the comments. And if you found this video useful, please share it with someone who might need it. Thanks for watching.